Chelsea fans, welcome back to Talking Chelsea. Welcome back to your Chelsea news. Enzo Maresca talks about having faith in his system. Chelsea have hired a brand new sporting director. Chelsea are also after an 18-year-old winger in the Bundesliga and a brand new striker. Now, of course, I'll be giving my own thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported, but more importantly, I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. And before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. We're on the road to 15k by the end of the season. You can also use the new YouTube hype feature, which pushes this video out to a bigger audience. Kicking things off, Chelsea have announced that this November, Chelsea honour Remembrance with the launch of a limited edition Nike pre-match top created in partnership with the RBL. £15 of each sale will be donated to the RBL. Now, this isn't sponsored, it isn't a paid segue. This is just something I wanted to react to and just kind of highlight. It's a very important part of Chelsea's heritage and the English culture around the world, really. Remembrance Day for obviously the wars and the people that we lost during them. We have the Chelsea pensioners as well, which is a very nice representation, and we show them a lot of respect. They do their sort of Remembrance Day performances as well, which is always amazing to see. Also, this shirt looks fire. So I just wanted to highlight this. This looks awesome. I like our pre-match tops this season. They look so dope. But this is really, really cool. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to go grab one, they'll be on the Chelsea website. There is no link in the description, but, feel free to check it out. I don't know when they've actually been released. It might be as of today, as it's the 1st of November. I'm not entirely sure. But I just thought this is a really nice gesture. It helps the RBL out as well with £15 of each sale being donated to them. So yeah, if this is your thing, this shirt looks fire, but feel free to go grab one. Kieran Gill has reported that Enzo Maresca today insisted he still sees possession as the best way for Chelsea to win. He says the problem against Sunderland was we didn't attack well enough. I prefer the ball as much as we can. He then goes on to talk about set pieces and he says, I don't know why people don't like set pieces. Everyone tries to use their own threat. If there are teams that think with long throw-ins they can create more chances, why not? Everyone tries to use different weapons. If you score from a corner, how do you get that corner? From open play. It's not a divide. Open play, offensive, defensive, it's football. Set pieces are part of football. He then talks about moving on from the games. He says, we need to move on, but we try to move on even when we win. We played Wolves Wednesday night, and after the game on the way back, we started watching Spurs, on the plane and on the bus. After tomorrow, we start to watch Karabakh. You don't stop. Now, there's a lot to break down here. I actually agree with Enzo Maresca in a sense that I do feel that Chelsea's possession-based football may be considered boring to a lot of fans, but I feel like it does kind of suit Chelsea at times when we are controlling the game. And I'm not saying that it's the be-all and end-all. We know that Enzo Maresca needs a plan B. He needs to be tactically flexible, and he has become a bit more flexible as his tenure has sort of extended at Chelsea. Nowhere near as rigid as it was this time last year, for example. We do need to have other options. We do need to attack better. We need more solutions to the problems that opponents give us. That's essentially what it is. We need to attack better. We need to unlock defences. And I agree when it comes to set pieces. I don't know why everyone has a bee in their bonnet about set pieces. For me, it's the fact that we can't defend them. That's the issue I have. We're second in the table of scoring from set pieces. I'm happy with that because it adds a dynamic to our game. If we can't score from open play and we do have a set piece and we're good at them, gives us another opportunity to get one up over the opponent, right? The problem I have is we can't defend them. Whether it's long throws, free kicks, whatever, corners, whatever it may be, we struggle to defend them. That's my issue. If we learn how to defend them better, I've got no qualms how we score them. I'm very old school in that sense that I don't care how we win as long as we win. 3 points is 3 points. Going into the next round is going into the next round. Mourinho used to do this. I grew up on Mourinho. Very defensive, making sure we didn't concede, having one of the best defences in the league, and going and making sure we take our chances and we are clinical with our chances. Whether that comes from a free kick, a corner, open play, a penalty, doesn't matter. Just being clinical, winning at any means necessary. And I feel like that is something we need to get back to. Now, when it comes to the possession-specific system, I'm not all in on it because I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. It makes so much sense. It's the most entertaining form of football that we've played. Because it's not. I'd be lying if I said that. There are times where it is very boring because you're just keeping hold of the ball for the sake of keeping hold of it. However, something I was taught, and I'm sure a lot of you guys were taught if you ever played football at grassroots all the way up to varying sort of levels of football, is if you have the ball, the opposition can't score. And I've always been a firm believer of that because it's physically impossible for the opposition to score if you have the ball. Unless you're scoring an own goal, obviously. So in that sense, I do agree. If Maresca feels like the possession-based football is the best way for Chelsea to win, cool, we have to kind of trust that because, he is winning us games. When you look at, when you take a zoom out and look at the games that we've lost, yes, a lot of it is discipline issues. A lot of it is defending set pieces like long throws and corners, etc. Or free kicks mainly. Yes, that is an issue. But it's nowhere near as bad as I feel like it gets painted out to be when there is a bit of an issue. Now, Wolves, a game of two halves. Played amazing in the first half, so poor in the second half. And we need to address that because it was mainly defensive issues. But I've got no problem with us keeping the ball as long as we're doing something with it and we attack better. We create more chances and we're more clinical with it. It's a win-win. You look at how Arsenal are playing. They are not conceding goals. I think they've gone through the whole of October, 5 games without conceding a goal. That's a crazy stat for them. That's incredible. They've been building that defence for many, many seasons. And a lot of fans are saying it's boring football. They're not going to care how boring it is if they go win the league this year. And you wouldn't care if Chelsea went and won the league this year playing the same way. And if you say that you do, I think that's questionable, because I don't care how we win as long as we win. I don't care if we're the most boring team in the league, in the world, but if we're winning titles, who cares? It's something for us to celebrate because we've gone on and achieved something. You know, it's the same when we won the Champions League or the Club World Cup. At the end of the day, no one cares because we won the trophy and we can enjoy that, we can celebrate that. So I do agree with what Maresca's saying about the possession style to a point. There are points where it's overkill, where we're keeping the ball for the sake of it and we don't have the answers going forward. That's frustrating. And that's where he needs to be more tactically flexible. We need to be able to unlock doors. We need to change up the style of play. Whether that is going long in a different dynamic, whether it is changing up from a possession-based to counter-attack or transition football. Even if it's just, temporarily in certain spells of the game, fine. But just having the ball for the sake of it makes no sense to me. So I understand what you're saying. And when it comes to moving on, I also agree. It's such a rapid turnaround of games. And there have been a few results this season that stick with you. Man United hurt, Sunderland hurt. There's a couple other games that you just kind of stick with and you're like, ow. I can't get over that. The football moves at such a fast pace that I'm glad that him as a person and the team are constantly looking on to the next game, whether it's good or bad, because that means you can try and get the mistakes out of the system onto the next game. And yes, we're having a bit of an issue with, a few sort of bad habits that are creeping in more consistently, especially the discipline with red cards that needs to stop. But in terms of defensively, we need to be more solid, whether that's the pairing, whether it's the setup, I don't really know. But also when you are winning games, you are just constantly moving on. It's the same with being a content creator. If one video performs badly, you haven't got to worry about it. You've got to go on to the next video. And you just got to keep going. If the video does really well, amazing. Have your little moment and then you keep going to the next video. Same with anything in life, really. If you really want to progress at something, you can't get dwelled up and stop on results, good or bad. You have to keep going. So I do actually fully understand why that mentality is, look, we've said our piece. These are the issues. We need to fix them. But we've got Spurs. We've then got Qarabag. We are focused on these games game by game. So I kind of agree with that, but I'd like to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you agree with what Maresca's saying? Do you feel like he does need to change the system entirely? Or do you see the point of, having possession style football as long as we are more clinical going forward? And what are your overall thoughts about Maresca's system? Does he need to change it up? Do we need to incorporate long throws and set pieces into our game? Even though Chelsea are second in that table of scoring from set pieces this season. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Chelsea have reported official. Chelsea are pleased to announce the appointment of Dave Fallows to the club's sporting leadership team, joining the club on the 1st of November on a contract through to 2031. The sporting leadership team, headed by co-sporting directors Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley, includes Sam Jewell and Joe Shields, with whom Dave will work closely as part of the club's integrated football leadership structure. Dave Fallows said this about taking the role. He said, "I've been impressed by a lot of the work that has gone on already around the development and recruitment strategy for players at all levels. I look forward to playing a part in building on the foundations they've already established with the talented squads developed under the owners." And this is Chelsea's updated leadership team. You've got Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart, all sporting directors, Dave Fallows, who's a sporting director and football development, Joe Shields, which is a sporting director, scouting and talent, Sam Jewell, sporting director, global recruiting. Now, something that's also important to note that it's been reported that Dave Fallows is going to be based around Strasbourg and working around those. So when it says this integrated sporting structure, it's at the multi-club level. Because I take one look at this and go, what's that? 1, 2, 3. That's 5 sporting directors. Why do we need 5 sporting directors? Most clubs have 1, if any. And we have 5. Now, Dave Fallows has a good reputation because he was the sporting director at Brighton, and we know how good Brighton are at scouting talent and then selling them on for huge profits after developing them at Brighton. So this is another Brighton buy that Chelsea have made. Surprise, surprise. Now, obviously, I hope Dave Fallows comes in and does well. This immediately screams to me that there's too many cooks in the kitchen, because I don't know how you would get 5 people to agree and pull in the same direction all the time. That's an incredibly difficult feat. But Chelsea have recruited Dave Fallows, a new sporting director, to add to the team, who is based at Strasbourg till 2031. Now, this integrated team, I'm assuming that they're going to be sharing a lot of plans and a lot of ideas across both of the clubs in terms of what's going to be going on. I don't know how directly he's going to be involved with Chelsea-specific stuff, but I'm assuming that they're all equally parted in terms of both clubs and how they run under the multi-club rule. I'm not really entirely sure. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm an expert. I just thought this was very interesting to react to because we have 5 sporting directors, albeit they do certain things like football development or scouting or global recruiting. And to be fair, Chelsea's team here of sporting directors have done well in some of the recruitment. I think we can't shy away from that. You have to give them praise for that. But we've also done very badly in some of the other sort of moves and decisions when it comes to recruitment, sales, and well, maybe not sales. Sales has been really good, but in terms of talent and scouting talent, loans and purchases, some hits and some misses. Mainly more hits than misses, in my opinion, now over time's gone on, because we've had that revolving door of ins and outs over the last 4 years or whatever it is, which is just wild when you think about it. But it's Chelsea. We're a crazy club, and this is how things work apparently. 5 sporting directors just blows me away. There's so many cooks in the kitchen. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens and what his actual role is going to be, specifically for what club and how involved he's going to be for the other club. Like I said, he's being stationed at Strasbourg, so I'm guessing he's working primarily with them, but also part of Chelsea's team across both clubs. So I don't know how much Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart have in terms of Strasbourg stuff, in terms of their recruitment and things like that, or Joe Shields. We hear them mainly for the Chelsea side of things rather than Strasbourg, but I'm assuming they had their pieces to do at both clubs too, right? So be very interesting. We've recruited Dave, another sporting director, football development, got a good track record at Brighton, so that's positive for us in that sense. We'll soon have to see what he does, but will this change the direction of the club? Will he just follow suit with everyone else and kind of sing from the same hymn sheet? Who really knows? Does this mean that Chelsea's development in terms of the director's structure, this integrated team for multi-team or whatever it is going to develop even more? Or is this just too many people? Because like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert, but I look at that and go, why do we need 5 when most clubs have none or just one person to do it? Interesting to me. So I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding Dave Fallows. Do you know much about him? Do you feel like having 5 sporting directors, albeit for their separate things, makes a lot of sense? Or do you think it's too many cooks in the kitchen? I'm very curious to know your thoughts. By Germany, Chelsea, Manchester United and Real Madrid are all tracking the progress of 18-year-old Red Bull Salzburg winger Kerim Alajbegovic. I hope I pronounced it right, apologies if it was wrong, ahead of future transfer talks. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've never heard of this player, so I had to do a little bit of research to kind of know what he's about, watch some highlights. He does look like a young and exciting prospect, but let's go over what position he plays and how he's getting on so far this season. So his main position is a left winger, and his other positions are attacking midfielder and right winger. Now this seems like a very much Enzo Maresca profile, very young, looks very talented. Again, it's very hard to tell with these youngsters. They're coming through with extreme talent and high potential, but again, Chelsea are looking at the youth. So I'm still unsure whether this is going to be a buy to sell or buy to loan for many, many years, or if it's going to be a buy to integrate into the team because he's an unbelievable asset and a wonder kid. Like I said, I've done limited research on him. This has just come through. I've done had a little bit of look at the highlights, and he does look like a tidy player. But let's have a look at how he's done so far this season. Now, this season in the Bundesliga, out of 11 possible games, he's made 11 appearances, scored 4 goals, and got 1 assist with 2 yellow cards. No second yellows and no red cards, which is a good thing because Chelsea clearly have a discipline issue right now. And he's in the starting 11 64% of the time. He's played 66% of the minutes available, and goal participation of 21%. Now, it's very easy to look at stats, and I've kind of only got this to go, a limited pool of stats, and obviously the highlights that I've seen. He does look like a very promising player. I mean, to be scoring 4 goals, getting an assist at 11 games at 18 years old, screams high potential, get this guy very early. And the fact that Real Madrid and Manchester United are also interested showcases that European teams are looking at this kid as someone that's going to go on and really kick on and have a very good career. Like I said earlier, I don't know too much about him. He could be a flop, he could be a one-season wonder, or he could be the real deal. We're not really going to know until years come on. Now, for Chelsea's perspective, is this just another player that's going to go through the system? We buy him as cheap as possible that we can. Maybe we overspend for him a little bit, maybe, who knows. And then we bring him into the system. He goes out on loan for many, many years till he develops, and then we integrate him into that first team. Or do we buy him, send him to Strasbourg for development instantly? Or do we buy him to actually integrate into Enzo Maresca's system? Because based on the positions that he plays, mainly on that left-hand side, but he can also play as a 10 and on the right. Now, I know you've got the likes of Cuenda, you've got the likes of Esteval, you've got the likes of Palmer, you've got other players that can play in that role. Buonannote's on a loan, but obviously he's dry loan, he's going back at the end of the season unless we try and purchase him in the summer. No sort of buy clause or anything like that, just a straight out buy, which could potentially happen. Also got João Pedro that plays in the 10. Esteval can play on the right or on the 10. He can kind of play anywhere. That guy's so good. We have a lot of options. We've got players coming in the summer as well that are kind of our pre-contracts that are just waiting until the end of the season, like Cuenda, etc. We've got Kendry Paez as well, who's on loan. We've got many others. It begs the question, does this make sense in terms of improving the squad? Buying another 18-year-old sounds very Chelsea-like, let's be honest. This could be one for the future as they keep continuing to look for the youth and the youth and the youth for development. He could be a Strasbourg player. He could be loaned. It could be used to flip for profit later on down the line, especially if United and Real Madrid are interested. From the limited games I've seen, the limited things I've seen, and the stats, he does look like a very promising player. The other concerning thing for me personally is it's another left winger. We have Garnacho, we have Gittins. We have Cuenda coming in at the end of the season who could play left or right. We've got Esteval who could play kind of anywhere in that attacking four. Pedro Neto could play either side. What is the deal with just signing left wingers? Is it until we're just going to keep signing them until we're happy with what we got? We're also heavily linked with Kenan Yildiz, and it looks like we're really pushing to get him across. So imagine we sign all these players. More players have to leave the door. And I said this in yesterday's video. We still have UEFA sort of restrictions hanging over our head for the next 3 years. We have to be making a net positive every season to be in the UEFA competitions because it's a different rule set to, say, the FA, etc., and the Premier League. So I'm just very curious as to why we're constantly trying to buy in wingers, and especially on that left-hand side. It's almost like we haven't had a left winger since Hazard that can replace him, but we're not going to find another Hazard because he's generational. Let's be real. Unless it is someone like Cuenda, unless it is someone like Esteval who develops, who I feel like Enzo Maresca is kind of developing him into more of a 10 to push him more centrally. But then again, that asks questions about Cole Palmer. What's going to happen there? So it's just very, very confusing to have a big jigsaw puzzle, lots of pieces, and trying to put them all together. And again, we have 5 sporting directors now. It just makes this very, very confusing. So I'm going to put my neck out and say that if Chelsea were able to sign this kid, then I feel like he will just be part of the system that's loaned out or flipped for profit in many years to come, rather than someone that comes in, integrated within the Enzo Maresca system to improve our squad. Because again, he's 18 years old. Now you can say, well, look at Esteval. Again, that he has potential like Lamine Yamal to be generational in terms of how good they are and how they play beyond their years. We've not seen enough of this kid, or I personally haven't. If you have, let me know your thoughts in the comments because, yeah, very interested to know. But I don't really know what to think about this. Again, we target another left winger. And we've got an abundance of wingers coming in at the end of the season and the ones that we currently have. So who knows what the plan really is. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Would you go for a player like this? What do you think the plan is for a player like this? Is it to be part of the system? Is it to be flipped on for profit? Is it to be going to Strasbourg? Is it to come into the starting 11? I'm very curious to know your thoughts. Mundo Deportivo have reported that Barcelona have joined Chelsea and AC Milan in the scouting of Strasbourg striker Joaquin Panichelli. The bicycle kick in the Conference League group stage against Polish side, which I can't pronounce, I do apologise, caught the eye. But Barca are more impressed by his tally of 9 goals in 10 Ligue 1 appearances so far this season. This guy is unreal. Unreal. So many people have been talking about him. He's on fire right now. 9 goals in 10 Ligue 1 appearances. The question was looming around Chelsea, have we bought the wrong striker from Strasbourg? We've signed Amiga, who's going to be coming in either January or at the end of the season. Should we have got Panichelli? That was the question, because this guy is on fire, and I'm not surprised that the likes of AC Milan and Barcelona are very interested, because he's on such a good run of form. Now, I've watched Panichelli, not an abundance amount, but I've been keeping up with him this season because of the form he's been on and the fact that we've signed Amiga. I'm actually starting to take a bit more of an interest in what Strasbourg are doing, which is kind of what happens with this multi-club thing over time. You kind of, especially with the players coming to and fro, Chelsea, and we've got loanees there, etc. We've taken players from there. Just keeping an eye. I'm not saying that I'm a Strasbourg fan or I'm watching them, with a fine-tooth comb, but keeping an eye on some of the things that are going over there. And honestly, this guy looks unreal. Unreal. Similar age, similar profile to someone like Amiga. Now, Amiga's kind of like a Nicholas Jackson upgrade in the eyes of profiles, player profiles, right? We'll soon see what he can do. He had an incredible season last season, 14 goals, which I believe were non-penalty as well. And like I said, looks like that Jackson profile, which I think that we miss with Jackson going on loan and ultimately probably leaving Chelsea at the end of the season. But the question is, do we go get Panichelli as well? But we've signed Amiga. Now, ultimately, I would say that we made the right decision to sign an Amiga. Panichelli he is a little bit of a different profile than Jackson, of course, but I really like his playing style, and he obviously suits that system that Strasbourg are playing. And the Strasbourg manager is doing an incredible bits for Strasbourg. They're playing so well this season, and fair play to them. I'm all for it. And I know that Blueco want to take the credit. I know they're saying it's all because of them, and I don't think it is personally, but at the same time, it is what it is. Strasbourg fans and the Ultras have their own view and opinion on Blueco, just like we do as well as Chelsea fans. But in terms of just pure football, because that's all I care about, not really the politics of it, pure football, Strasbourg are doing so well, and Panichelli is one of those players that's just gone on an unbelievable form. The question I have, same with Amiga, and we'll soon find out about him and Panichelli, are they going to do a Streets Won't Forget type season like Michu did when he was at Swansea and bagged so many goals and then fell off the face of the earth? Or is he these players that are really going to kick on? Will he decide to go to Chelsea? Will he decide to go Barcelona? What about AC Milan? I think these are valid options for Panichelli. It would make no sense for Chelsea to sign Amiga and Panichelli, because then we're going to be hoarding strikers. We're going to have Panichelli, Guiu, Delap, João Pedro, who can play as a 9, Amiga, that's 5. Well, 4 if you take out João Pedro, because he's not out and out 9, he can just play there, right? That's a lot of strikers. Do you then loan Guiu out again? This is the season that he gets the minutes and the opportunity. We want to develop him. He wants to be part of the Chelsea future. We want him to be part of the Chelsea future. But then sign Amiga. Again, too many puzzle pieces into this puzzle, and it's just so hard trying to fit them together. So ultimately, in my opinion, I think that we did buy the right striker in Amiga, and we'll soon see if that tells. But it'll be very interesting to be keeping an eye on Panichelli this season, because he started on fire. 9 goals in 10 games is really, really good form, regardless of the league, in my opinion anyway. But I'd like to know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding Panichelli. Have you seen much of him play? What do you rate him? Do you think he's a good striker? Do you think that Chelsea have signed the wrong striker from Strasbourg? Will he go to Barcelona or AC Milan, or will he stay at Strasbourg? What do you think the future holds for Panichelli? And that's the latest Chelsea news. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you have watched this video all the way to the end, firstly, you're a real one, and I mean that, you're a real one. But secondly, there'll be a thumbnail appears on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail, because you'll enjoy that video too.